Falcon's flight at Six Flags Qiddiya was announced in 2019. Located in a new entertainment complex in Saudi Arabia, Six Flags Qiddiya would be home to the world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster in Falcon's Flight. We knew Falcon's Flight would be a statistical monster, but I had no idea it would shatter the pre-existing records like this. Let's start with the height. Falcon's Flight is being built in a valley surrounded by giant 525-foot tall or 160-meter tall cliffs. This is like the rock quarry setting of Six Flags Fiesta Texas, but on steroids. For perspective, the quarry wall at Six Flags Fiesta Texas is just 90 feet tall, or 27.5 meters tall. These cliffs are almost 6 times larger, which is mind-boggling to picture. And Falcon's Flight climbs atop this cliff mid-ride thanks to a lengthy LSM lift hill. After weaving atop the cliff, surely giving some gorgeous and breathtaking views, riders will plummet vertically off the cliff into a tunnel where the coaster starts leveling off, dropping the entire way back down to the ground. That means this coaster will have roughly a 525-foot tall or 160-meter tall drop, and it's likely the maximum height will be a little above this since the elevated section above the cliff appears gravity-driven. The current record holder for the world's tallest coaster is Kingda Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, which stands an imposing 456 feet or 139 meters tall. And the drop is even shorter than that at just 418 feet or 127.5 meters. That means Falcon's Flight's drop is over 100 feet or 30.5 meters taller than that of Kingda Ka, and the ride's overall height is likely 80 or so feet taller. Falcon's Flight will also claim the record for the world's fastest coaster, but by a much slimmer margin. Falcon's Flight will reach a top speed of 155 miles per hour or 250 kilometers per hour at the bottom of that record-breaking drop. This is just 6 miles per hour or 9.5 kilometers per hour faster than that of Formula Rossa at Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi. However, that blistering speed is not achieved by the drop alone. Time for some nerdy physics. The ride's gravitational potential energy has to be equal to the kinetic energy, assuming nothing is lost to friction. In reality, some energy is lost to friction, but for the sake of this argument, I'll say it's equal. Therefore, if you look at the equations for both those energies, mass will cancel out, which means velocity is equal to the square root of 2 times the acceleration due to gravity times the height. Since gravity is constant, using the height of 525 feet, the estimated velocity is roughly 125 miles per hour or 201 kilometers per hour. In reality, this coaster train will have some velocity cresting this drop, and it will lose some speed due to friction, but it's a rough estimate that shows this coaster's top speed wouldn't pass the top speed of Formula Rossa or even Kingda Ka on its own. This drop will have LSMs that will accelerate the train to the maximum speed of 155 miles per hour. It is going to feel crazy fast, getting a double acceleration from both gravity and a magnetic launch. But the stat that impresses me most is the coaster's length. Falcon's Flight will have roughly 4 kilometers or 13,123 feet of track. For reference, the current record holder for the world's longest roller coaster is Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Spa Land at 8,133 feet, or 2,479 meters. Falcon's Flight will be 5,000 feet, or 1,500 meters longer. And just to put this ridiculous length into perspective, that would be like taking Steel Dragon 2000 and then adding the length of your average hypercoaster onto it. Heck, not even Millennium Force and Steel Vengeance together can surpass the length of Falcon's Flight. That's how long this ride is. Some record breakers like Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point and Kingda Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure are short one-trick ponies. They prioritize quality over quantity. Others like the Beast at Kings Island are all about quantity over quality. Falcon's Flight seems to offer the best of both worlds. From the animation released last year, Falcon's Flight will start with a massive lift hill. The exact height of this lift is unknown, but in the animation, you can see a top speed at the bottom of the first drop of 151 kilometers per hour or 94 miles per hour. That speed puts Falcon's Flight in the ballpark of rides like Millennium Force and Fury 325, which suggests that initial lift alone would qualify this coaster as a Giga Coaster, eclipsing the 300-foot or 91.5 meter mark. And not only will the initial drop be massive, but it's a twisting drop in the vein of Expedition GeForce at Holiday Park or Conda at Walibi Belgium. Except this drop will be roughly 75% larger. I'm salivating at the prospect of sustained airtime and laterals on a drop of this scale. The rest of the first half differs from the animation and artwork. The original animation showed a tiny speed hill that probably would have taken the record for the fastest airtime hill of all time. That was then followed by 3 larger camelbacks that likely would have given some glorious sustained ejector airtime. That would then lead into this gradual step up that would lead into the massive climb up the cliff. The artwork from the resort appears to have eliminated the speed hill, going right into the 3 camelbacks. Except the step up is eliminated and the 3rd camelback doesn't drop all the way down to the ground. Instead, it leads into the climb up the cliff. After a LSM-powered climb atop the 525-foot tall cliff, you slowly wind back and forth. That leads into the record-breaking drop. And in the POV, there clearly is something atop the drop. Again, the initial POV could change, but it almost appears that you're going to be launched into the vertical drop. If that truly is the case, that's ridiculous. A 500+ foot drop alone is crazy enough, and launching into it seems too good to be true. The drop starts as a vertical plunge before becoming more shallow, as it dives into the rock wall. The initial plunge will likely deliver some powerful ejector airtime, especially if it is indeed launched. And the shallow second half of the drop will allow the forces to become more spread out for the comfort of riders. Plus, that shallow section of the drop contains a series of LSMs to accelerate the ride to its maximum speed. You then fly over a massive camelback, and massive does not even begin to describe it. Remember how that initial drop appeared to be over 300 feet tall? This camelback absolutely dwarfs that first hill. And in the animation, you appear to rocket over this hill in speeds approaching 70 miles per hour or 113 kilometers per hour. For reference, that's almost as fast as you take that initial speed hill on Steel Vengeance. Except this hill is taller than a Giga Coaster. That's just mind-boggling. That's followed by another colossal camelback. Both these camelbacks will likely give some of the most sustained airtime of any coaster because of their sheer size and the speed at which you take them. That's followed by a drawn-out speed hill over the racetrack, and at this point you're still traveling faster than Top Thrill Dragster. You then dive underground, hop over a tiny speed hill that should give some very abrupt airtime, and then you rocket through a massive Immelman, and that's followed by a fast overbank. With the speed you traverse these elements in the animation, you're likely going to start graying out, and I honestly find it hard to believe you'll take these elements with that type of speed. You then hop into the brake run in what is sure to be a contender for the world's best roller coaster. Again, things could change from the initial POV and artwork, because just look at those transitions. They were far from refined. But what seems to be confirmed is the coaster's amazing height, speed, and length. And there are a lot of great things you can do with stats like that. So that begs the question, who on earth is crazy enough to design a coaster like this? When the coaster was announced 2 years ago, everyone immediately assumed it would be Intamin. And a few days ago, Intamin confirmed they in fact are the company responsible for Falcon's Flight. We know Intamin is not afraid to take risks, and with a seemingly infinite budget on the Qiddiya project, this is a once-in-a-lifetime coaster for Intamin. And they also have that picturesque setting to work with too. I'm still skeptical this coaster will ever open, and if it does open, who knows how much downtime it will have. This coaster is tentatively scheduled to open in 2023 with Six Flags Qiddiya, and I hope it happens one day, because this coaster sounds too good to be true. It sounds like something out of my dreams. In fact, Six Flags Qiddiya in general looks incredible with the park's ornate appearance and unique ride lineup that will also include a tilt coaster with what appears to be a spiraling vertical drop, and also a hybrid coaster, just to name a few of the proposed attractions. Lastly, I want to state I'm aware of where this coaster is going. I can still look at this coaster in awe though, but I'm not sure if I'll ever ride it because of its location. And that's a decision that everyone can make on their own. So those are my thoughts on Falcon's Flight, the record-breaking roller coaster that is supposedly just 2 years away. What are your thoughts on this coaster? I would love to hear what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you gave it a like and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.